We know that inventory quantity is determined with a physical count at the end of the period. Employees or auditors actually go out and count the different items of inventory that are in the warehouse or on the store shelves. But how do we determine inventory cost? What is the cost of that inventory left in the warehouse or on the store shelves at the end of the period? What is the cost of the inventory that was sold? When the merchandiser originally purchased the inventory, they may have purchased it at different prices. So how do we know which inventory was sold and which is still left at the end of the period? Well, if costs can be traced directly to the objects that were sold or still left on hand, we can use a method called specific identification. We use this for low-quantity unique goods. For example, a car lot. Cars on a car lot can be identified specifically by VIN number, vehicle identification number. It's a unique number for each car. The merchandiser is a car lot. They know exactly which cars were sold and which ones are still left on the lot. However, for many businesses, costs cannot be traced directly. In that case, we would use an inventory costing method. We use inventory costing methods for high-quantity, homogeneous goods. So that means goods that are all the same. We can't differentiate them between one good or another. For example, jars of pickles at a supermarket. We don't know exactly which jar of pickles is sold. Was it the first one we put on the shelves, or was it the last one we put on the shelves? If we are a clothing store, we don't know exactly which red size medium t-shirt was sold because they all look the same. Our inventory costing methods are called FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average. FIFO, F-I-F-O, means first in, first out. LIFO, L-I-F-O, means last in, first out. And in weighted average, we average the costs of the goods. Let's look at the specific identification method. Let's assume that we are a car lot, and we have different cars on our lot. In our beginning inventory at the beginning of the period, we have two cars. We have a red car and a blue car. The red car cost $24,000, and the blue car cost $20,750. So altogether, in beginning inventory, we have $44,750 of inventory. Then at the beginning of the year, we make some purchases. On January 5th, we buy one orange sports car for $23,000 to put on our lot. On January 7th, we buy a purple sports car and a green sports car. The cost of these are $21,000 and $22,500. On January 13th, we buy a white sports car. The cost of the white sports car is $25,000. So now we have $136,250 in merchandise inventory. Two sports cars are then sold on January 22nd. We know exactly which sports cars these are. They are the blue car and the green car. We can specifically identify them, the blue car and the green car. What is cost of goods sold? Well, we take the cost of the green car, $22,500, and the cost of the blue car, $20,750. So we know that cost of goods sold is $43,250. What is ending inventory? Well, we need to add the cost of the red car, the orange car, the purple car, and the white car that we have left. Or we can take our total cost of goods available for sale and subtract our cost of goods sold. Ending inventory is $93,000. But what if we can't specifically identify which goods were sold and which are left in inventory? In that case, we use an inventory costing method. One of our inventory costing methods is first in, first out, FIFO or FIFO. Under first in, first out, we assume that the first units purchased by the merchandiser are the first units sold to customers. The next inventory costing method is LIFO, last in, first out, LIFO. The LIFO costing method assumes that the last units purchased by the merchandiser are the first units sold to customers. And the third costing method is weighted average. Under weighted average, the cost of goods purchased is averaged to come up with a weighted average cost per good. Then we multiply the average cost of goods available per unit times the quantity of units sold to get cost of goods sold. It's important to remember that these inventory costing methods are just assumptions. They have nothing to do with the actual physical flow of inventory through our business. If we're using FIFO, we don't actually have to be selling the first units purchased. Or if we're using LIFO, we don't actually have to be selling the last units purchased. We just need to choose an inventory costing method and stick with it consistently.